The Bhagavad Gita has been recognized throughout the world as the greatest book of wisdom on how to live life. What are the main topics of Bhagavad Gita? Well, these are number one, Ishwar, that is God, Jiva, that is living being, Prakriti, that is material nature, Kal, that is time, and Karma, that is action. Lord Krishna, in his dialogue with Arjun, refers to all these throughout the 700 shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita. Our objective is to inspire people at large, irrespective of their age, gender, profession, wealth, social status, religion, nationality, etc., through education and practical application of the Bhagavad Gita. As we all know, the book comprises a dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjun. It takes place at the most inopportune yet strangely befitting time, that is right when the two armies of Kauravas and Pandavas are at the battlefield of Kurukshetra ready to fight. Sanjay, through grace of Saint Vedvyas, has been blessed with a divine ability to be able to watch happenings in the battlefield while sitting in the palace. He relates these happenings to his blind master, King Dhritarashtra. The prime subject of Bhagavad Gita, as has been said, emphasizes needs for all human beings to perform their duty. It becomes explicit that the greatest happiness one can find is experienced through the successful performance of duty. Action has been considered that which no mortal can or should avoid. Those who, out of laziness or sheer habitual procrastination, get into the vicious circle of physical inaction, and they are the worst sufferers. They may not be physically carrying out any work, but their mind continues to do so. The mind, when a person is awake, cannot be idle. In fact, it cannot be idle even when the person is sleeping, because you may sleep, the mind still continues working, and that's how sometimes you have dream. The more you shirk your work and remain idle, the more the mind gets restive. The heightened activity does not bring any benefit and only adds to the confusion of the mind and inertia to the body. Such a person's mind tends to breed the various negative emotions like fear, jealousy, greed. The list goes on. Undoubtedly, these base emotions they definitely bring misery and sufferance to the bearer. It is only the successful performance of your duty that brings you real happiness. Your duty may vary from significant, extremely important mission to simple, mundane, and unenviable tasks. All duties must be performed with the same diligence. Thus, whilst a ruler or an administrator must carry out the assigned duty to his best of ability, the menial worker also must put in the very best into his work as well. The dialogue between Arjun and Lord Krishna is ostensibly all about the necessity of the battle. However, while explaining the importance of this battle, Lord Krishna goes on to expound the principle that classify all human desires, emotions, and actions. The underlying thought regarding life that establishes itself is that the soul of an individual is neither born nor does it ever die. It emanates from the eternal Almighty, goes through various cycles, and through good deeds returns to its origin. It becomes one with the everlasting, omnipresent Lord, the Almighty. Since we all come here to the world but for a temporary period, we should harbor no worldly attachments. The world as we see it, as we feel, and as we experience, including all its worldly objects, is one great Maya, illusion. This is the creation of God, Lord Almighty. There is therefore no place of personal ego. Nothing really belongs to anyone. All objects are different manifestations of the vast cosmic energy which keeps on changing form and position. What is seemingly yours today once belonged to somebody else and soon will be transferred to another person. Realizing fully well the illusionary nature of the world and one's own transient existence, one should practice detachment. This means that you remain in the present. You take routine actions, carry out all your duties towards your family, community of state. However, you do not get emotionally attached to any person, object, or position. This is the only path to salvation. This is the only path to peace. This is indeed the very best way to live life in its full significance. The contentment experienced by a person who practices the principle of detachment is far greater than the one experienced by a person who gets involved in trivial momentary pleasures or keeps on harboring wild thoughts. In this manner, all the five main topics, that is Ishwar, God, Kal, that is time, Jiva, that is living being, Karma, that is work that we do, duty that we perform, and Prakriti. Prakriti is nature, material nature. Now, all these topics have been adequately discussed during the discussion, during the dialogue of Krishna and Arjuna. From the dialogue, we find that there is a lot of wisdom that we can apply in our day-to-day life to live life significantly, to enjoy it, to live peacefully, and to be out of any confusion, and to have strong emotional intelligence, and to be wise enough, to be courageous enough to face all the battles of life. Life is full of challenges and changes, so we have to accept, and you have to accept yourself as well, yourself as you are. That does not mean that you do not keep on improving, you do not try to improve. No, you have to keep on adding to your skills, your knowledge, and your wisdom. So that is the main message of the Bhagavad Gita, and these are the main topics that it discusses during the dialogue.